Though he only occupied the stone for a short amount of time, it
Hello guys and welcome back. I am so excited for you guys today because I'm finally doing the long promised book haul that I've been talking about for so long that I said I would do. I'm finally doing it. I took a lot of the books I've read this year off my shelf, the ones that I've been loving, and I'm going to talk to you all about these books that I have loved. I know I just said this year, but there is one series I read kind of like last year and kind of throughout this year, so I was kind of going towards the end of last year reading it and the beginning of this year I was reading it, so kind of last year, kind of this year, but these are all the books that I have loved this year. And it's actually kind of crazy because I was like, I don't have time to read. I haven't read that many books like I've wanted this year, but then I actually put them all out and I was like, wow, 18 books so far, pretty good. I kind of want to go around the 50 mark when I read per year, but that's alright. I'm going to talk about today my favourite books that I have been loving so far. These are definitely not my favourite books of all time. These are just the books that I have loved reading so far this year. They are just really great books and they're the books that I would recommend to you guys. I'm not going to be giving you like a synopsis or like a summary of the book. I'm just telling you that I love these books and I recommend them. If you are interested in them, definitely check them out and kind of read the summary online if you want to decide to get them, or if you see them in store, have a look. But these are definitely books that I would recommend to you guys. So long time coming, so I'm so excited that I finally am filming this. So let's get started. I still need to put some like lip balm because I totally forgot to do that. Alright. I am going to start by saying it's one of my favourite books actually of all time. This is a book that I like to read every single year at the start of the year just to kind of ground me and remind me that like the importance of life, and that is The Happiest Man on Earth. This book is incredible. I am sure a lot of you have probably seen this book, but it is such a good read, and this is the blurb kind of thing. I said I wouldn't read it, but I'm going to read this one because it's so simple. I knew it was going to happen. It's spring here. Life can be beautiful. You can make it beautiful. It is up to you. And great book. This is about a man that went through Auschwitz. I know I said I wouldn't say anything, but I just have to talk about this one because this is just something that if you're kind of in like a really tough spot in your life, you read this and go, wow, like life can really be hard. And if this person can do it, you can do it. So really a great book. Now this next part is going to be a series. I'll show you each book individually, but I love the series Dune. My sister bought me this book and she was like, I have heard on the grapevine that this is better than Star Wars. And I was like, nothing is better than Star Wars because I am obsessed with Star Wars. But I was like, I'll give it a go. I'm into sci-fi. I love science fiction books, fantasy. You'll kind of see that coming through this video. But I was like, sure, whatever. So of course I read the book Dune. If you have watched my vlogs throughout the year, you will know that I love this book. I even tried to iron it. There's a video about that. I'll link it actually down below. I tried to iron it because I creased it, but Dune, so good, so good. So this is book number 1. Loved it. This, where's my second? Okay, hold on. There's a second one. I don't have it. Here it is. I'm like, I thought. Okay, there's a lie. It wasn't 18 books. It was 19 books. So this is the second book. It is called Dune Messiah. This one was really good. I really liked this one. I kind of was like, oh, it's still such a good read. So really good. It is a lot shorter than the first one. You can tell, but yeah, it was a really great read. Yeah, really liked it. Went into number 3 and this is called Children of Dune, and again I thought this was a really good read. I still thought the plotline was really good, so I liked this one as well. And then we started to get into God Emperor of June, where it starts to get a little bit interesting. This is where the point when I was starting to read it and I was like, it's good, but it's interesting. It's starting to get a little bit very interesting. So I still liked this one, still kept reading, and then it gets to the 5th one. It's called Heretics of June. I hope I pronounced that right. This one is where it starts to get a little bit weird. I still kept reading it. I still thought it was a good read, but the things that you kind of thought can't happen are starting to happen. So yeah, interesting, but still a good read. Then we get to the final one, Chapter House of June. Now, he has written other books. I don't know if they connect to June, but he has a lot of different books, but these are the ones about June, I believe. Yeah, this is where I was like, this is a really interesting book. It started off really well, and then it started to kind of spiral a little bit and go okay, but nonetheless, this was still a really good read, and I do recommend the June series because they are just such a great read, and the movie that just came out was really good, so I love the June series. So there you go. This is another series. I am sure a lot of you probably already know who Sarah J Maas is. I just think she is amazing at what she does. And I have read her series, Court and Thorn Roses series. So it's this little series. Again, really great read. So I just, love it. So the first one is A Court of Thorn and Roses. Really good. This book just, it got me in so hard. Like, I loved it. I was sold by her, and I could see what the hype was about when I read this book. I was like, I can see why people like love this author. Amazing. Then A Court of Mist and Fury, again, really, really good read. I loved it. Then A Court of Wings and Ruin, again, amazing. Like, these like, if you want to read something and know that you're flicking through the pages really quickly, even though it's like a big book, this is definitely it. Like, you just feel like you're smashing it because it's just so good. Like the person wrote here, yeah. Thrilling, absolutely. A Court of Frost and Starlight. This one, I think I started to get a little bit, not lost, but I kind of started to slow down with my reading. This is the shortest book, and this is the one I kind of took the longest to read, which is strange. It's not that it was bad, it's just, I don't know. This is the one that kind of lost me a little bit. I don't know if you have found any of that with like book series. They're like, this one was okay. And then this one, I loved this one, A Court of Silver Flames. This book is just so amazing. I can't express, but you do have to read it from like start to finish, because then it'll make sense for you. So definitely I recommend this one if you like a little bit of romance, a little bit of juiciness, a little bit of fantasy. A really great read. And then we go into the Crescent City novels by Sarah J Maas again. I found it a little bit strange at the start. I'm not gonna lie. I could kind of see, like, I haven't read any of her other stuff, and I was like, oh, they talk about similar things as her other novel, and I was like, I didn't actually know that they kind of like cross over kind of thing. And I was like, okay, it's a bit modernized, it's a bit modern, but I did like it. I got into it eventually, and I finished it, and yeah. And this one is called House of Sky and Breath. So this one was really, really good as well. And then it follows on to the second book. It's called House of Earth and Blood. I really liked this one as well. Again, I was just like so amazed by her story, but the best part was the last part. The last few pages were incredible, and if you've read this, you know what I mean. It was just so good. So good. So definitely recommend it. Yeah, she's just amazing. So then I wanted to try something a little bit different, and I wanted to try like a little bit of like romance, but it wasn't fantasy. It was just like, it's made up, but like a fictional story obviously, but it just was a bit more normal to the fantasy stuff. So I tried this series by Lauren Asher, and it is, the first one's called The Fine Print, and it is about the Dreamland billionaires are back, something like that, I think. Dreamland Billionaires, I think that's what the series is called, and the first book is called The Fine Print, and I was so intrigued purely by the cover, and then I read the blurb and I was like, yeah, okay. So I bought the second book when I bought the first one. I read these really quickly. They're really great quick reads. So one's about one brother and one's about the other brother, which I thought was like interesting. So I did like it. Good read. They're really quick. They're really good, and yeah, a little bit of romance. Yeah, it was a good story. Then I read this book, To Kill a Mockingbird. I am putting it out here because I do actually think this is a good, valuable book to read. I just wanted to read it purely this year because I was like, what is the fuss about this book? I've always heard about it. I've always heard about it through like American shows, like just people talking about it. So I wanted to read it, and yeah, it was good. Probably not like my most favourite book, but it was a good book, so I put it on this list as well. Now, I'm currently reading, again, a book by Sarah J. Maas. I'm currently going through her Throne of Glass books. I think they are just, yeah, really, really good books. So this one's called The Assassin's Blade. So I've read this one. I was sold by it. Again, her books kind of like cross over with the similarities of her like little fantasy world on the Fae, so loved it. Then I got Crown of Midnight. I read this one, which was really good as well. So I was just so I was just so like mesmerized by the storyline. I really just don't know how she does it. She nails it every single time. And like when I was reading the first few pages, I was like, I'm so skeptical. I don't know if I'll love it, because I loved the other series that she read. I'm currently reading, I'm about to finish. This book is called Heir of Fire, and this is the one I'm currently reading. And like I said, Sarah J. Maas has a grip on me, and I am okay with it. I think she is an amazing author, and I would not recommend anything other besides her at the moment. She's just, I don't know, she's really captivated me. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of let you know what I'm diving into and the books that I've been loving. Books are such a big part of my life. Like, I read every day. Occasionally there'll be a day I won't read because, you know, I'm human, but most days I am reading. I love it. I wish I had more time to read, but like once I put out all these books, I was like, wow, I actually read a lot more books this year than I thought I had originally. So positives, I guess. So those are my 20 books that I have been loving this year so far. I'm gonna title this like, I think 20 top books or something around 20, the number 20 I think, because that's how many I read. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I have been promising, and I finally came through. So I hope you all enjoy. I hope you like those books. If you've read them, comment down below, because I'm actually interested what you guys are reading as well. And also let me know if you want like book reviews. I'm happy to do that, but obviously I don't want to do that if that is not the content that you guys are wanting. But I did want to share what I'm currently loving and reading. And besides that, that is it from me, guys. Okay, see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.